The interview room buzzes with sterile tension, fluorescent lights highlighting the cheap metal table. Jonah, nondescript and visibly unnerved, fidgets under the harsh glare, his work-stained hands betraying his mounting anxiety. Jonah repeatedly circles his thumb, a subtle tick that speaks volumes. In a sudden, chilling shift, Jonah leans forward, his eyes locking onto Detective Harris, a disturbing calm washing over him. With unnerving composure, Jonah confesses, "I killed her." In the stark interview room, silence amplifies the tension as detectives cast doubtful glances. Jonah, with piercing eyes, chillingly recounts the precise details of a murder scheduled for tomorrow night. Specifying the time and location, he reveals unnerving specifics: a vintage letter opener, the victim's position, floral curtains, and the scent of lavender details beyond his grasp. The detective's smirks dissolve into unease, one discreetly verifying Jonah's claims on his phone. Under stark fluorescent lights, Jonah sits in a sterile holding cell, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere. CCTV cameras blink, their unblinking eyes scrutinizing every move, adding to the palpable tension. Guards watch from behind reinforced glass, their expressions unreadable, their vigilance unwavering. In an adjacent room, detectives monitor screens, their faces etched with concern as they grapple with Jonah's confession. The weight of the unknown hangs heavy. Is Jonah a criminal mastermind, or is he something far more terrifying? In the victim's kitchen, the chilling tableau unfolds. A woman lies lifeless, mirroring Jonah's dark visions. The murder weapon rests beside her, its grim angle a precise echo of Jonah's prophetic description. Back in the sterile confines of the holding cell, Jonah's face remains a mask of impassivity on the surveillance footage. Detectives watch in mounting disbelief as the horrifying scene replays, the foundations of their reality crumbling around them. The world they thought they knew shatters, as the line between reality and nightmare blurs, leaving them adrift in a sea of uncertainty. In the stark interview room, Jonah's earlier confidence fades, replaced by weary resignation. He recounts the scene at the gas station, detailing the man's slumped posture and the license plate number. Harris scoffs, his disbelief cutting through the tense atmosphere. Ruiz observes intently, his unwavering gaze adding to the pressure in the room. Under the stark gas station lights, Jonah's dark prophecy unfolds with brutal precision. A man collapses, the echo of a gunshot shattering the night. The detectives exchange horrified glances, the weight of Jonah's chilling accuracy sinking in. Detective 1 struggles to find words in the face of the impossible. It's exactly as he said. Sunlight floods the detective's office, highlighting the chaos as Detective Harris slams a file onto the cluttered desk. Detective Harris's voice rises with conviction. He's a manipulator, plain and simple, communicating with accomplices, feeding them information. We need to bring charges, get warrants for searches. Detective Ruiz leans back, his weary eyes betraying doubt as he counters. But the accuracy, Harris, it's uncanny. It's like he knew things he couldn't possibly know. Detective Ruiz subtly shifts, masking his actions as he murmurs under his breath. There's something else at play here. Under the stark fluorescent lights, Ruiz leans intently, his gaze probing, seeking the truth hidden within Jonah. Jonah answers with unnerving accuracy, each word a chilling echo in the sterile room. A subtle shift darkens Ruiz's expression as the weight of Jonah's answers settles upon him. Across the room, Harris watches with increasing frustration, his jaw tight with unspoken tension. The fluorescent lights hum, amplifying the sterile tension, the air thick with unspoken dread. Ruiz continues his subtle probing, determined to unravel the truth concealed within Jonah's unsettling accuracy. Ruiz enters his apartment, his steps hurried, his expression etched with anxiety. He immediately secures the locks, his unease palpable in the confined space. A half-empty coffee cup sits abandoned on the table, a silent testament to his disrupted routine. A coat hangs askew on the door, mirroring the chaos within. The air is thick with unspoken dread, a sense of foreboding clinging to every corner. In the stark interview room, Jonah sits opposite Detective Ruiz, a cold metal table, their only divide. Jonah begins to describe a crime scene with chilling precision, painting a portrait of Detective Ruiz's apartment. He reveals a floor plan etched in malice, a lamp knocked over, a shattered coffee cup staining the pristine carpet, specifying the time. 2:14 a.m. A heavy silence descends as Jonah details how Ruiz's coat snags on the door handle. The detectives exchange uneasy glances, realizing the threat. In the dead of night, Ruiz lies awake in his brightly lit apartment, every sound magnified in the stillness. The building groans and whispers around him, each creak amplifying his unease. 2:13 a.m. The digital clock glows, each number a stark reminder of the passing time. His gaze darts nervously to a coffee cup on his table. The lukewarm coffee sits, an emblem of insomnia and anxiety. His eyes dart around the room, searching for solace in the familiar objects, but finding only heightened dread. A storm of sensory overload engulfs Jonah's mind, a montage of fleeting images and invasive sounds. The pungent aroma of a cigar fills the air, mingling with the static buzz of a distant radio. Brief, brutal glimpses of violent scenes flash before his eyes, each more disturbing than the last. Jonah fights to suppress his words, fearing his voice will give life to these haunting visions. Sunlight filters through the trees, painting the park in shifting patterns of light and shadow. Children's laughter rises and falls, creating a symphony of innocence in the vibrant air. A toddler toddles unsteadily, his tiny hand reaching for a support that isn't there. A collective gasp pierces the joyful sounds as the child tumbles, a small thud marking his fall. Parents rush forward, their faces a mixture of concern and urgency. But the inevitable has already unfolded. The fall, the injury, an inescapable moment, a subtle reshaping of reality that haunts the observer. In his office, Harris, consumed by frustration, manipulates surveillance equipment, a web of wires sprawling across his desk. Hours dissolve into a blur as Harris meticulously sets each trap, his determination unwavering. Each trap springs unexpectedly, revealing only inexplicable events. A locked drawer swings open, revealing nothing but dust, a stark testament to his fruitless efforts. Under the stark fluorescent light, the interview room casts long shadows, highlighting the tension between Ruiz and Jonah. Jonah maintains an unsettling calm, his composed demeanor a stark contrast to the gravity of their grim task. Ruiz leans forward, his tired eyes betraying the weight of countless preemptive confessions. Despite meticulous planning, the specter of unexpected casualties haunts their grim work. A silent exchange passes between Ruiz and Jonah, a growing unease settling in the sterile space. A chilling realization dawns. Jonah's words are not merely predictive but directive, reshaping the very fabric of reality. Ruiz surveys his living room, his gaze sharpening as he notices faint shoe scuffs desecrating the polished floor. He steps onto the balcony, his fingers lingering over a smudge of nicotine staining the railing. A knot of suspicion tightens in Ruiz's stomach, twisting into a chilling fear. He confronts Jonah. Ruiz stands, his heart pounding in his chest. Under the glaring fluorescent lights, Ruiz leans forward, his expression accusatory, setting a tense atmosphere. Harris stands beside Ruiz, arms crossed, his stern look intensifying the pressure on Jonah. Jonah sits hunched in his chair, the very picture of defeat. Ruiz's accusation hangs heavy in the air. "You intentionally weaponized your words, Jonah," Harris firmly declares. "I argue for Jonah's permanent incarceration." Jonah remains silent, overwhelmed and defeated, refusing to speak anymore. Jonah is caught in a vortex of terrifying images, each one stabbing at his mind. A screaming migraine rips through Jonah's consciousness, demanding release. Each word Jonah speaks unleashes a fresh wave of destruction, amplifying the horror around him. Trapped between silence and sound, Jonah is suspended in a nightmarish reality where every choice brings devastation. Under the harsh glare of a single bulb, Jonah squirms, sweat glistening on his brow, a trapped man on the precipice. His gaze sweeps across the stark room, desperately evading Detective Harris's piercing stare. A dam about to burst, he speaks of a dark premonition. "It's going to happen," to Harris. His voice trembles as he unveils the horrifying details. He'll be choked. Then a glass breaks. A haunting prophecy escapes his lips, sealing Harris's fate. His last words will be, "I didn't." The weight of the impending doom hangs heavy in the air, an unspoken terror that binds Jonah and Harris together. In the dim light of Harris's apartment, Ruiz's face is a mask of grim determination as he meticulously secures the premises. With practiced efficiency, Ruiz alters Harris's schedule, each adjustment a calculated step in their desperate game. Methodically, Ruiz sweeps through the apartment, removing each described item, his movements precise and deliberate. The apartment transforms into a stage for an elaborate deception. As they begin broadcasting Harris's location, a calculated risk designed to force him into hiding. The implication hangs heavy. Harris will be forced into a life on the run, sleeping in a different place each night, forever hunted. In the stark interview room, Jonah's silence speaks volumes, his face a canvas of exhaustion and despair. His eyes dart nervously, betraying the inner turmoil that threatens to consume him. His mind races, the images shifting like a kaleidoscope, each more grotesque than the last. He is caught between the desperate need to speak and the paralyzing fear of what his words might unleash. Each choice before him is a path fraught with potential catastrophe, a tightrope, walk over an abyss of unknown horrors. The weight of his unspoken words presses down on him, each moment a silent scream in the confines of his mind. In the sterile interview room, Jonah sits, the fluorescent lights casting a cold, unwavering glare. The weight of his decision is etched deeply into his face. He gathers himself, a deep breath preceding his story. The attacker was subdued and arrested, he recounts, his voice steady yet tinged with emotion. The tension in the room is palpable as Jonah describes a near miss, a violent struggle averted. He concludes, "It was over." Chaos descends upon Harris's apartment as the attack begins, furniture crashing and shadows twisting ominously. The struggle intensifies, a whirlwind of desperation and adrenaline, as the attacker is apprehended. Harris, visibly shaken, gasps for breath amidst the disarray, alive but bearing the weight of the encounter. Sirens wail in the distance, growing louder as the police arrive. The precinct reports a miraculous avert. In the stark interview room, Jonah is caught in the limbo between accusation and freedom. He is neither charged nor free, existing merely to preempt potential wrongdoings. Monitored constantly, Jonah exists as a tool, a means to an end for a system caught in its own web. He is a resource the system covets but cannot openly utilize. Jonah embodies a paradox indispensable yet unusable. He is trapped, a pawn in a game of power, his fate hanging in the balance. In the stark interview room, Jonah sits alone, the shadows amplifying his growing unease. Each unspoken crime weighs heavily on his conscience, a silent confession brewing. He prepares to speak, another name, ready to fall from his lips like a stone into the abyss. The approaching footsteps outside mark the inexorable approach of fate, each step a countdown.